What's up, everybody? It's Sojourney coming to y'all with another video. So today's video is going to be about Kamala Harris Day, okay? Her on her podcast, and just a disgrace. Just it's ridiculous. So let's get right into it, y'all. Y'all make sure that y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Let's go.
We need to shut down the Department of Education, allocate funds individually to parents so they can decide where to send their kids, because this should make your blood boil. Kamala Harris Day at an elementary school? This isn't even satire. How can the teachers be so stupid to create this day, then make the excuse it's for Black History Spirit Week?
I would want another child coming in here and teach culture. Does that make sense?
I mean, you guys are having a Kamala Harris Day.
Yes, and it's an honorable Black History Spirit Week. Black History.
If you make it like this, Black History is.
I first have to pause. Being a melanated indigenous person of this land, me personally, I think it's a disgrace to be called Black. I think because it is a color, the same way like we shouldn't call white people white. We all have nationalities. If we don't know the nationality, call yourself indigenous, call yourself melanated, something like that. But when you using that word Black, it is such a disgrace to me, and it makes my skin crawl. I cannot stand that word. We used to be called Afro Indians at first. Back in the day, we were called Indians, and then they changed it to Afro Americans, and now African American, and then Black. No, stop calling me Black. I don't like that. And let's be clear and real. Kamala Harris, she is not one of us. We do not claim her. Her genealogy does not claim who she is. She's a fake chameleon trying to be riding on the coattails of us indigenous melanated beings. That's all it is. Like, she is not us. She is not the original peoples of the land. No, I'm sorry. And so I had to just get that out there. So this is a disgrace. Kamala Harris Day? I don't think so. Let's continue listening. And she's just a disgrace. Let's go ahead.
You're making a political statement.
I'm not sure how I'm making a political statement.
Kamala Harris Day, she's the current Vice President of the United States.
Yes, and I myself did not make the week up. We'll have a further conversation if you feel that it is inappropriate for us to have that. I'm not stating that I agree or disagree with you. Just be mindful of that. I'm just doing what I have to do in my position and in my job.
Okay, so are you the one making this decision?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So then I guess I'll make my own ultimatum.
Okay.
Either tell something up like we have to do, or these are the kind of clothes that they're going to be wearing to school every day for the rest of the school.
Okay, and like I said, I talked to my mom was very understanding, and she told me that she understood why they could not wear something like that in school. We don't actually have anyone wearing a Kamala Harris shirt today or anything of that nature. They're wearing chucks and clothes if they choose to. So for it to be something that's completely against what we're doing at the school, I understand the viewpoint. But as far as bringing that negativity into the schoolhouse, I can't have it.
It's nothing negative. You just don't like the message.
And I'm not saying that I don't. I'm not saying I cannot.
You're the one making the decision.
Okay, I'm making the decision based on the dress code that's in our code of conduct.
You could absolutely tell she was lying when she tried to look puzzled about Kamala Harris Day being a political message. But I don't think I've seen anything more inappropriate at an elementary school other than books with corn in it. Just replace corn with a P. YouTube doesn't like that word. And the nerve for her to complain about this father's kids wearing Trump merch. At least that's what I'm assuming from this video. And I'm astounded at how miserable this woman is. And she is married. I feel bad for the guy.
Wow. I thought that's what it was, because I was like, okay, you saying Kamala Harris t-shirts, what they got to do anything? So he's a Trump supporter. He wanted his son or daughter to wear Trump attire, which makes perfectly good sense. If people wearing Kamala Harris t-shirts, why wouldn't he be able to have his kids wear that? That's crazy.
Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and help. How does that hurt the situation here?
You know, moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now. And playing political games at this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations. It's just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
President Hilden's arrival, what does it mean for resources?
Oh, she walked off. Wow. She just walked off. And for her to say that, she is ignoring the people. And I'm going to show you why I say that.
Enjoying a round of girl boss moments. Have you checked anything on the web today? What a girl boss Kamala Harris is.
That we just saw. Why would any school be celebrating this type of behavior from anybody? It's Jezebel spirit. It's a very lustful spirit, and it's a very wicked spirit trying to sexualize everything. Let me continue.
In strategy, the Vice President Kamala Harris appearing on a podcast that's really not known for talking politics. She appeared on the podcast called Call Her Daddy. It's run by a BU graduate. Thanks for staying with us. I'm David Wade.
And I'm Lisa Hughes. Courtney Cole has the night off. This interview didn't produce any big surprises, but as WBZ's Christina Rex shows us, the fact that it happened at all tells us a lot about this presidential campaign.
Madam Vice President,
Alex,
welcome to Call Her Daddy.
A Kamala Harris interview going viral on Spotify's second most popular podcast, Call Her Daddy.
Daddy Gang, it is your founding father.
The millions of listeners are known as the Daddy Gang, and it's easy to find them on any sidewalk.
Yeah, I love it. The people who do listen to it are typically like younger women. Like
very informal podcast, more like fun.
It's raunchy as hell, and I'm sorry to say. It's a disgrace. It's disgusting. You can go check out some of their commentary. They're talking about all types of oral, pleasuring yourself, all types of promiscuous talk. And it's disgusting. But you see the demographic of people that likes it. That's why we have so many thoughts out here and so many 304s out here. People are not conservative and you know, holding on to their conservative values is Gen Zs and the, you know, new generation coming up because of this trash mess right here.
Not very political.
Alex Cooper, the host of Call Her Daddy, has deep ties to Massachusetts. She actually graduated from Boston University here in 2017. And political experts say this interview, while it's unusual for the Call Her Daddy audience, is an example of how the candidates 1 month before the election are trying to find potential voters in non-traditional spaces.
I had never heard of Call Her Daddy.
Political science professor Chris Galdieri.
What we tend to see time and again is that candidates are willing to go places where other candidates have not.
Usually about dating, gossip, and celebrity interviews like Katy Perry or Megan Fox, the vice president interview is a notable departure from Call Her Daddy content. Host Cooper says former President Trump declined an invite. Experts say this appearance is boundary pushing.
Know why? Because he's smart. He knew that would mess up his brand. That is not a smart idea to go on a podcast that is a disgrace to women, a disgrace to all people, for real. It's idiotic. This is just like that movie, Idiocracy. We are definitely living in that movie, Idiocracy, because Miss Harris, I don't even call her vice nothing, because she's an idiot to me, and she don't have enough brain, or either she really is trying to lose this election by doing stuff like this. But let's continue on.
And harkens back to a 1992 Bill Clinton moment on late night TV.
That was like something of a, if not scandal, at least there were a lot of folks who looked down on that. And by the end of the 90s, it was completely normal for presidential candidates to show up on Oprah and David Letterman.
Harris is making the podcast rounds on Call Her Daddy and on All the Smoke, hosted by former NBA players.
What's your feelings on all three of the teams out of Oakland now?
President Trump has made recent podcast appearances too.
Yeah, they do.
The experts say these non-conventional interviews are about reaching...
Yeah, but he's on podcasts with somebody that has some substance behind it. She's going on these podcasts that are a joke, that are not going to ask hard, tough questions, that's going to still make her look stupid because she still doesn't look any better than what she was looking before. It actually makes me look at her even worse, like you are a disgrace, you are a 304, and it's probably true that you got this position by being on your back, straight up. You a straight up thought, man, and that's all I can say about her. She's a thought. I don't even know if they even still use that word anymore, but she's a 305, okay?
A certain demographic. In the Call Her Daddy case, the conversation was exclusively about women's issues, Harris targeting young women who may not be politically involved.
It's just another interview and it's another day.
It's already received a lot of backlash.
She went for a big fish and she got it, and I think that's great. That's exactly what a podcast should be.
Christina Rex, WBZ News.
Well, Call Me Daddy might be getting canceled, okay? Because a lot of people are saying that they're not gonna be watching her like that, watching that show like that. So,
from the White House, we found out that President Biden has spoken with Israel's President Isaac Herzog in a call Monday, reaffirming our commitment to achieving a deal in Gaza to bring those hostages home. Of course, there are 4 Americans being held hostage by Hamas or by a subsidiary group in Gaza right now. They've spoken via phone and reaffirmed our support as the United States in getting those 4 Americans home. Well, on to this. We are watching closely while millions of Americans brace for another monster storm, this time Hurricane Milton. It's intensifying quickly and it could hit at catastrophic levels. This new storm is headed to the U.S. just days after Hurricane Helene ravaged the Southeast. The suffering and destruction is astounding. Over 230 people are dead, many still missing, and desperate Americans are still without key supplies. Many residents of the hardest hit areas say they feel totally abandoned, claiming that they're being forced to fend for themselves because assistance from FEMA and the Biden-Harris administration is not able to reach them. With the federal government nowhere in sight, distressed residents have been relying on neighbors, on private organizations for help. One Helene victim telling the New York Post that FEMA said they were not coming because of a, quote, road closed sign. Struggling and devastated Americans are asking, when will someone step in?
I think that our government can do more. Because we're going to need the help. There's roads going.
There's so much more that could be done, and giving us $750 if you can even apply for it is ridiculous.
Where is the help for Western North Carolina? We can send billions to Ukraine, and we can't help Western North Carolina.
The response time right now is extremely slow, if at all, in some areas. I know haven't really been touched except by the locals.
President Biden is here today. Do you have a message for him?
Yeah, whoopee-doo, and where are you at when everything else happens?
All right, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No, thank you.
Good questions. And now members of the Republican Party are expressing their outrage to the White House's storm response.
When you talk to the people who are directly affected, they will tell you that this has been an abject failure. FEMA has lost sight of its core mission. The Federal Emergency Management Association, their mission is to help people in times like this of natural disaster, not to be engaged in using any pool of funding from any account for resettling illegal aliens who have come across the border.
The other is federal coordination. Very slow. Government was caught flat-footed. Biden administration didn't come out of the gate.
This administration seems to have no problem finding money when they want to spend it on their priorities. When they need hundreds of billions of dollars to pay off student loans for graduate students and gender studies programs, they somehow find it. When it's trying to get helicopters to deliver food and water and cellular service and life-saving medicine into these mountain valleys, they somehow can't seem to find the money.
Guy, I mean, the bottom line, because you have entities trying to fact check Republicans on this, the bottom line is, one, what the residents said, but number two, President Biden did not go to FEMA headquarters on camera. The first time we saw anyone from the administration there was Kamala Harris on Monday when the storm occurred on Thursday.
There was a long delay here. The president finally got down there and then returned to the White House. Someone asked him about the affected states in the storm zone, and he didn't know which storm they were talking about at first, and then said, oh, everyone's very happy. They're all very happy across the board, paraphrasing. And we just heard from a few people who would dissent from that view, who live in that area. I had a gentleman who's from Save Our Allies, who's doing some of this work on the ground in North Carolina. He was on my radio show on Friday. He estimated 90% of the efforts that he has seen have come from private citizens and organizations, not from the government. It's too delayed, it's too little, and to pretend like that didn't happen is preposterous.
So we have Tim Kennedy from Save Our Allies. He was on America's Newsroom earlier reflecting exactly what you just said. Let's listen.
We arrived the day after the hurricane landed. While nobody could get through roads, we're taking four-wheelers and getting in there. Where there's no hotels with power, we're taking four-wheelers and sleeping in the back of SUVs. What was clearly absent was the state and federal response. The men and women that showed up from FEMA, it's still woefully absent. There was no command and control. We were begging and pleading for the state to hand over control, CQ, command and control of the incident command system, to the United States military.
I mean, Martha, this is insane. Walmart managed to show up along with several other private organizations.
Honestly, Kaylee, I can't think of any better demonstration for the bloated inefficiency of a large government. I mean, that is what we're watching here. We see time and time again, Save Our Allies, Rubicon, they're able to get stuff done. They're former military people. They know how to cut through and say, look, here's what needs to happen right now. And the fact that we're hearing from Karine Jean-Pierre that, this FEMA money goes for the immigrants in cities. This FEMA money is going towards relief efforts. And that money is going to run out. And we see this other hurricane that's barreling towards the coast. I don't know what else people need to see other than to look at the situation, to listen to the people on the ground. I know there's a lot of politics going back and forth here. But the person I interviewed and countless other people saying, look, we're neighbors helping neighbors and we're getting some help from private groups, but the government cannot handle this stuff. They step all over their own feet. They don't know who's talking to whom. And it's the perfect demonstration of large bureaucratic government that's falling all over itself.
And Molly, maybe the most tone-deaf tweet of the century came from Vice President Kamala Harris saying, I'm concerned about the security and well-being of citizens suffering in Lebanon. We'll continue to work to help meet the needs of civilians there. To that end, the U.S. will provide nearly $157 million in additional assistance to the people of Lebanon. How about the people of Asheville?
It's just amazing to see.
Isn't it a smack in the face? Let's read the whole thing. It says, I am concerned about the security and the well-being of civilians. Well, why not the citizens of the United States suffering in Lebanon? This is not Lebanon. This is the United States of America. And we'll continue working to help meet the needs of all civilians there. Maybe she needs to go move back over out of our country. Maybe that's what the problem is, being that she is not a natural born citizen of the United States of America. Maybe she needs to go to another country because apparently she don't love the United States like, us patriots that really were born here and live here and know about the history of the United States. For the essential needs such as food, shelter, water, protection. Isn't that what the people in North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia needs? And sanitation to help those who have been displaced by this recent conflict. Didn't we just have a conflict last week? I mean, I am perplexed and bewildered. This additional support brings total U.S. assistance to Lebanon over the last year to over $385 million. Don't you think that our people need that money to rebuild, get supplies in there, get the water cleansed, or give them, month supply of water, until they can get the water straight, rebuild up the sewage and drainage and all of that type of stuff. $385 million, I think, would definitely help out rebuilding North Carolina and helping the citizens in the surrounding areas. Wow. I can't say nothing else.
Something like that come out during this sensitive period. It's not just the delay in getting down there. It's that what they've been offering people is a few $100 to help with rebuilding. We're still in the rescue and recovery operations right now. And the lack of attention from the federal government is appalling, particularly when they're spending so much money overseas, hard-earned taxpayer money to fight wars overseas or to help out the people of Lebanon and just leave these people in the dust.
Ainsley, I'm curious to see how this plays out because Thursday, President Biden is supposed to leave to go overseas. It's being described by CNN as a non-urgent diplomatic trip to Germany and Angola. Well, when the hurricane hits Wednesday night and Thursday morning, is he still going to head over for that non-urgent trip?
I hope not. They're getting a double whammy. We have friends all in the Tampa area. Houses were flooded. One neighborhood, my friend used to live in that neighborhood. She went back to it. 3 houses had burned down, totally lost everything. That is nothing even compared to what we're seeing, the mass devastation in North Carolina. My friend's brother is a builder in the Charlotte area, and he packed up his truck with a friend, went to Home Depot, got a bunch of supplies. And the sister says that one guy with FEMA came to Marshall, North Carolina about 2 days after the storm. He assessed the area and said they need everything. Capital letters. No one has come back. Not one person with FEMA. The government, et cetera. The locals have banded together and are organizing a cleanup.
Yeah, and Governor Kemp had to call and say, what about the rural counties? Make sure they get federal declarations.
They spent $1.4 billion on migrants. They gave $30 million to the North Carolina area.
Priorities. That's what that tells you.
So I wanted to go into couple X posts. Let me see if I can find them. I bookmarked it. And if y'all caught my other video about the seating, so this is saying Brandy at Hawkeye 79 said, remember kids, the next time you ask the government wouldn't do that. Oh, yes, they would. 70th anniversary of seating, government, Hurricane Helene, and the victims. 70th anniversary of the first hurricane. You know what it is. Experiment. On the afternoon of October 13th, 1947, Force B-17 aircraft penetrated. And then it has some other stuff. So, wow. Yeah. Oh, this is what I wanted y'all to hear.
But instead, people want to do disinformation, misinformation, which is dangerous. Because then when folks on the ground hear that, they may not want to ask for the help that they need. That is there for them. That's our focus here.
But President Biden is fond of saying, show me your budget and I will tell you what you value. If he's got money for people in Lebanon right now, without Congress having to come back, what does it say about his values? There's not enough money right now for people in North Carolina who need it. That's not misinformation.
Wait, no, that is your whole premise of the question is misinformation, sir. What you do? Yes, it's misinformation. I just mentioned to you that we provided more than $200 million to folks who are impacted in the area, and I just shared with you that people are deciding not to. People are deciding not to.
Wait, to Congress that there's not enough money to help people.
We're talking about the SBA disaster loan.
That's money for people in North Carolina,
and that's important. And people in North Carolina need that. Wait, this is nothing new. Peter, this is nothing new. Congress comes together, they provide money, millions of dollars, for disaster relief. We're asking them to do the job that they have been doing for some time.
From a letter that President Biden sent to Johnson, McConnell, Schumer, and Jeffries. The president's letter is not misinformation. Would you agree?
No, the way you're asking me the question is misinformation. There is money that we are allocating to the impacted areas, and there's money there to help people who truly need it. There are survivors who need the funding, and it's there.
That you don't like misinformation.
I actually said we have the money available to help survivors of Hurricane Helene and also Hurricane Milton. Now there's going to be a shortfall, right? Because we don't know how bad Hurricane Milton is going to be. And so we're going to need additional funding. That's
exactly what I just asked about. And you said it was misinformation. Yes.
What you're asking me is why Congress needs to come back and do their job. That's what you're asking me. Congress needs to come back and do their job and provide extra assistance, extra funding to disaster relief fund. That's what Congress needs to do, and we're going to continue to urge that. You may not want that, but that's okay. That's what this president wants, and that's what the vice president wants. Thanks, everybody.
She's a nasty itch bae. I promise you, she's a nasty itch bae. That thing there, that's a nasty lady. And she's lying out her teeth. We already heard Mayorkas said they ain't have enough funds. So why are they lying? I love Peter Ducey. He goes in. But I wanted to show you this too.
Carolina, one of the hardest hit towns by Hurricane Helene. Looks like a tornado came through.
A tornado did come through.
There's no government here. There's no FEMA. People are just coming in here with supplies, fuel, food, whatever we can to try to help this community. Every dollar I make from this video, I'm donating it to Hurricane Helene relief efforts. So please share, repost, comment, like, anything you can do that can boost this video. You're going to help people in need. Currently delivering aid at Swananoa Church of God. And I just want to give you guys a look at the flooding in the church basement. Remember, this is a week after the storm. Still no power. Still no clean water. And we're just trying to dig out from the mud in here. There's more flooding. Making some progress down in the basement. Hungry people ready to get a hot meal. As you can see, we've got helicopters flying in and out. Really the most efficient way, the only way to get in and out of here. I mean, this auto shop just crumbled on its stones. I mean, completely gutted. Your thing, guys. Repost, share, like, comment. Anything you can do to make this video go farther is going to help people in need. So,
okay, so I wanted to go to one last thing. This is what Kamala Harris is doing. They planted a memorial tree to commemorate, people across other countries, not the United States of America. They cannot stand U.S. citizens, man, at all. They cannot stand U.S. citizens.
In a few moments, Doug and I will plant a tree here on the grounds of the
Why are you not in North Carolina?
Of the United States, and we dedicate this tree to the 1,200 innocent souls in an act of pure evil on October 7, 2023.
What about our citizens? Why not go plant a tree in North Carolina? Why not go plant thousands of trees? Because all the trees are gone down. All the homes are gone. All the businesses are gone. This is a disgrace. First, you on Call Her Daddy. Now you're going to do Howard Stern. You're going to do Stephen Colbert and all these trash shows that are not going to take you seriously. Now you're talking about planting a tree. You are a disgrace, and I cannot wait for we don't have to see you no more. You like Sarah Palin. See, a lot of people don't even say her name. She was the Republican you. She was a joke. I can see Russia from what she said, from Alaska or something. She said something idiotic, she said. And you know what happens after they don't need you no more? They're going to talk about you. We're going to know all your dumb secrets. They said that the white powder, that girl, Coca-Cola, is really yours. Who knows if she on them D-rugs or not. But let's continue on, and then I'm going to be done. Y'all make sure that y'all hit the thumbs up and turn on y'all notification bell.
Who were massacred by Hamas terrorists. 46 of our fellow Americans were killed in this brutal terrorist attack, including a singer from Missouri who died shielding her son from bullets, an academic and peace activist who studied in Seattle and who was the grandson of Holocaust survivors, and a dancer from California who was killed alongside her fiancé while attending the Nova Music Festival. I am devastated by the pain and loss that occurred on October 7.
But are you devastated at what happened here in the United States just last week? Or was it 2 weeks ago? I don't even know, the days go by so doggone fast. 2 weeks ago.
And Doug and I pray for the family and loved ones of all of those who
are you praying to? Your principalities and high places? You witch?
Were lost. And may their memories be a blessing.
She doesn't even look sincere, man. Like, it's so sad that she can't even fake being sincere. I cannot stand this lady.
Today, I know many Jews will be reciting and reflecting on the Jewish prayer for mourning, the Kaddish. The words of the prayer are not about death.
I don't want to hear it. Let me see what she's talking about. I don't want to keep hearing all that. Y'all can go listen to it yourself. She get on my nerves.
Here. And it is especially meaningful to me that this property will now always commemorate the pain of the Jewish people, as well as the resilience and hope of the Jewish people. May the memories of the...
Whatever. Up there planting a goddamn tree. They made me mad. I'm sorry, y'all. It just makes me... It just disgusts me. It makes me sick to my stomach. While people in North Carolina, we just seen it, are rebuilding. And they up there planting a goddamn on tree. Get the heck out of here. Are y'all gonna go to North Carolina there and go do the same thing? You could tell that was a photo op, because why would she have that on planting a tree? She wasn't ready to get her hands dirty. That was a photo op. She's so freaking fake, man. You can see right through her. Who's she praying to? Nobody. Fake self. Glad we ain't heard a cackle. Y'all had y'all photo op. Yeah, we see it. See, there they go. Photo op. Telling them what to do. Now y'all can leave now. We got the good photo. Man, make sure that y'all I can't with this world, man. I cannot with this United States, man. That's why I don't be trying to like do these type of videos because it really riles me up for real. But it has to be put out there. It really does. They lie to us straight in our face, but then they tell us that they want to do censorship. But then you got people on Call Her Daddy talking about blowjobs and oral and masturbating and things like that. They need to be censored. Not the people that are telling the truth, not the real patriots that's trying to spread the real truth. This is crazy, man. I'm telling y'all. I love y'all so much. Let's continue to pray for one another. Let's continue to pray for the people in the hurricane-stricken places. Let's pray for Hurricane Milton, that it will curve over, that it will diminish, that it will turn into a depression, that it will die down and not be a Category 5 hitting Tampa. Let's continue to love on one another. Until next time, this is Sojourning for Truth. I love y'all so much.